girls, it is Miss Oates back with another reading review video. This time we are going to be talking about parts of a story. Who doesn't love a good story? So let's talk about all the different parts that you will see or learn about in today's video. All right, let's go ahead and start with our I can statements. By the end of this video, you will be able to describe the structure of a story, including its beginning, middle, and end. You will also be able to describe how the beginning of the story introduces the story and the ending concludes the action. And our focus standard for this video is RL.2.5, describing the overall structure of a story. Well, let's go ahead and get started by talking about the story elements. The story elements are the 4 parts of a story that every story must have. And you have probably learned about these since kindergarten. So none of this is new. It's a quick review. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. The first story element that we're going to be talking about is very important. Think about your favorite TV show. One of the reasons why it is your favorite TV show is probably because you see your favorite characters. And in a story, it's the exact thing. You don't have a story, you don't have any characters. Characters are the people, animals, or things in a story, such as in The Three Little Pigs. You have the pigs that are the characters, and then you have the antagonist, the big bad wolf. You also need to know where the story is going to take place, the where and the when. That is very, very important, and that is called the setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place. For example, in The Three Little Pigs, we know that the story takes place in the different houses that the pigs have, including straw, sticks, and bricks. That is where the story takes place. When could be the type of day, what the weather looks like, what month, what day, what year, what time. All of those are really important, and all of those describe the setting. And of course, you have characters and setting, but you have 2 other ingredients, and they're probably just as important as the characters and the setting. Your characters, they have to have a problem. That's what makes a story so interesting. So the problem is what goes wrong in the story. It is the challenge that our main character faces. So think about the 3 little pigs. The 3 little pigs had to keep running away from the big bad wolf. They built weak houses. And how are they going to solve the problem of the big bad wolf chasing them all along? But with every problem, most stories do have a solution. The solution is going to be how the problem is fixed or solved. Does the character change or not? Again, thinking about the 3 little pigs, the 3 pigs ran to their big brother's brick house. And at the brick house, they were able to stop the big bad wolf by having the wolf climb the chimney and landing in a pot of hot boiling water. Depending on which version of the story that you have read, that is the ending, and that is how the 3 pigs solve their ginormous problem, creating a solution. Now that we have talked about the story elements, let's go ahead and talk about how you retell a story, especially how you've read a very interesting story. You're like, I need to tell you exactly what happens, but you don't want to tell the story like the same way that the author wrote it. You don't want to spoil the ending, so we retell the story. And we retell the story with BME. Raise your hand, or if you've ever ridden a roller coaster before. If you've ever ridden a roller coaster before, the thrill of it going up, and then all of a sudden you're at the middle, and that you're at the very edge, and then it's about to slide down, and you're holding your hands up, and you're screaming like crazy because it's a fun ride. Well, retelling the story is very similar to a roller coaster ride. You have your beginning, your middle, and your end. So in your beginning of the story, you talk about who the characters are, and you may describe the setting. You might also talk a little bit about the problem, but the problem grows a little bit bigger in the middle. The middle is what is happening to the characters, aka the problem. And of course, when you're retelling a story, you always have an ending. And at the ending, you are talking about how the character solved the problem. And did the character change at all? Sometimes characters go through some sort of change. Where the character solves the problem and how the character changed, that is also known as the solution. So let's go ahead and practice. I have this wonderful story called flower planting day that I want to go ahead and read to you. And as I'm reading it to you, I want you thinking about what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. And then I'm going to retell the story to you. But when I retell the story to you, I'm not going to retell every single detail. I'm going to pick out the most important key details. Remember, key details are those light bulb moments, those very, very important ideas that is in a text, or in this particular case, a story. So go ahead, get ready to listen, and I will then retell you the story. Flower planting day. I want you to see if I did a good job retelling it. All right, flower planting day. Nate lives in a city called Fort Hays, and every year Fort Hays celebrates the first day of spring by having an annual flower planting day. Nate was so excited to participate this year. He and his family went to the gardening section at the store and bought 12 different types of flowers. His mom promised him that he could plant 5 of those flowers. When they got home, the family began working in their yard. Nate dug 5 holes just like his mom had taught him and planted his flowers. When they were finished, the family walked around Fort Hays to see all of the flowers. That is a great story. And if I wanted to tell my friend about this great story, I'm not going to tell them every single thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell them what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. And what happened at the beginning of our story is this. Nate's family went to the store to pick out some flowers. That's what happened at the beginning of the story, kind of towards the middle. The first part kind of gives us some background knowledge. But in the beginning, it says he and his family went to the gardening section at the store and bought 12 different types of flowers. Again, I'm retelling it using in my own words, but picking out those key words that is important to retell the story. Then we have the middle. Nate's family began to work on the garden. Nate dug 5 holes and planted his flowers. Again, I underline in pink this key phrase right here, when they got home. When they got home is a transition word. When I'm reading a story and if I see a word like when, I know that something else is about to happen. And that's exactly what happened. Nate's family began to work in the garden and Nate dug his holes and planted his flowers. Then we have the ending. By the end, Nate's family walked around Fort Hays to see all of the flowers. Again, we have the word when they were finished. That word when is that transitional word, letting me know as a reader that something else is about to happen. So, did I do a good job retelling this story, boys and girls? I sure hope so. And I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning about retelling stories. So, go out, find a book, figure out the story elements, and go tell a friend about this awesome story that you read, the beginning, middle, and end. And I will see you next time, boys and girls. Bye!